All right, and I'm pretty sure that we're live. So, hey everybody, this is Sea Dog here, and I am joined today by a friend from Twitter. He's called his Burner Sims. His name's Luke, and we're gonna be freaking previewing the Georgia Tech and Clemson game today. So, what's up, Luke?
What's up? What's up, y'all? We're gonna dive into it. Got some high hopes, but I'm a little cautious. But yeah, we'll talk about some stuff for sure.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming on, man. I was saying right before we started the show, it's always cool to have like younger tech fans that to talk to each other because I think most of our fan base is kind of old, so which there's nothing wrong with. I like the old timers and everything, but we're about the same age, so getting to talk and stuff about our jackets is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna freaking talk about the Jackets and our season in general. Um, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess we could start with we could talk a little bit about last year. I mean, and the disaster that was. So, well, here's the question I have for you. What's your opinion on Jeff Collins?
Oh God. I think Jeff is doing the right thing and going into year four. I think he got a slow start. I think that he thought that he could bring over, these Temple coaches and a lot of these guys that just really weren't exactly ready for ACC Power Five football. And I personally think that Stansbury, going into this year, kind of gave him an ultimatum and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to spend a little money on you. We're going to get you some better coaches in there. Sims has a quarterback coach now. We got a proven OC from Notre Dame and Chip Long. Got a good linebackers coach in. Got Tavares Tillman, which that's a whole nother conversation on how I feel
Oh
about
Lord,
him. But
yeah.
interested to see. I mean, I think at least the DBs will be in better position. But I'm not. I haven't loved what I've seen so far. I understand. I played football in college as well, so
Oh
I
wow,
understand that.
you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, wow. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Sorry, to cut you off, but
Yeah, no worries. It was just I played D3 football up in Memphis, Tennessee, a place called Rhodes College.
okay.
I played wide receiver up there, so I kind of bring an aspect of a knowledge of the game a little bit, and I understand that the transition was hard. Um, so I think that this is definitely a do or die year for him, though. I think that he's got the right pieces in there right now, and we have a really tough schedule. But I think if he's going to do it, this has got to be the year. We've got to get to a bowl
Mm-hmm.
game. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
make or break for him as far as that goes. If he doesn't get to 6 wins, in my opinion, I think he's out.
I think so too. I agree about the staff situation. In my opinion, this staff, he should have had this staff a couple of years ago, and I mean, well, first of all, I think that the contract, the 7-year contract that old Stansbury signed, was a little bit jumping the gun. I mean, I get he wanted to commit to transitioning from the triple option and everything, but it's not like Jeff Collins was exactly a super hot name at the time. Like, we had to give him some kind of insane contract, or else he was gonna, get scooped up by some other school. Like,
Hmm.
it was just really unnecessary, and it kind of puts us in a tough spot because I don't know. I do think that I do think that you know the transition, you give leeway in some spots, like offensive line and everything. I try not to complain too much about the offensive line because it has gotten slowly better, and I get that that's going to be like an area that is going to be tough to cross over from. And then, offensive line, tight ends was non-existent before Jeff Collins got here, so I'm not too worried about that. But man, last time I checked, an offensive transition's got nothing to do with the defense, and that's something that's been very disappointing. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of things that I'm not used to seeing as a Tech fan. After having Paul Johnson for so many years, and there's a certain sloppiness, I guess, and like unpreparedness that I see in the players sometimes, that makes me think it's like a coaching kind of a coaching problem.
Yep.
That I see. A lot of like just mistakes that make you scratch your head. Like last year I watched us call a timeout, and then we went out there and false started like twice in a row. Like that kind of stuff is just, I don't know. Sometimes the players look confused and out of place, like miscommunications and stuff like that, and that's just a bad sign.
I agree.
So I do think I think Collins held on to that staff from Temple for just too long, and it might be too late. I mean, a lot of people wanted Jeff Collins fired long before I did. My breaking point was last year. After the year ended, we lost the last 2 games 100-0, and we had Jahmyr Gibbs and every one of our players leave. A few of our best coaches left, and then our recruiting class fell apart. I mean, we had a top 25 class before that all happened, and then they all decommitted once we had that awful into the year, and we went 3-9. So to those people that so I get so many people trying to tell me, Georgia Tech can't recruit at a high level, they can't compete at that level. That's just not true. We were 3-9 and had a top 25 class. So
oh yeah,
all we got to do is make a bowl, and with the roster that we had last year, I think it was possible to make a bowl.
There's absolutely no excuse for the roster that we have last year and the roster that we have going into this year. You can't say that we don't have the athletes to win at least 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we had. I went into last season like a lot of people wanted Jeff Collins gone like long before. I feel like I held out longer than most on that, but that was my breaking point towards the end of the year. I was like, okay. But I get it, the buyout until year 4, he has this crazy contract where he can't be bought out. Or he's owed the entirety of his contract if he's fired before year 4, which is insane. I just don't get why you hire like a head coach like that with 7 years. And a lot of people have speculated that if we do fire Collins after this year, that our AD will go too, because he's almost, if you read some of his statements and comments and stuff like that, he's almost married himself to Collins. Like, he's like, yes, this is my guy. I'm 100% behind Collins. I believe in him. So, I remember last year they even said like the boosters had money in hand ready to buy out Collins, and the AD had talked him off the ledge. So, I mean, I don't know what he sees.
I think that as an AD, I think that when he made that hire and made that contract, I think it's like you said. I think he's dying on the hill with Collins. He knows that he's made some mistakes in the past. I don't think he's been a great AD just across the board, and he's putting all his eggs into Collins' basket, which I don't know if that's a good basket to be putting your eggs in.
Which is a shame because he's done really well in all the other sports too. So
yeah, I've got some questions in the basketball department with him, but that's another topic of discussion.
I don't follow the other sports religiously. I guess we were looking a lot better in basketball the year before last when we had made the tournament. But real quick, we got about 10 people in here. Thanks for tuning in. This is my man Burner Sims, he runs the Georgia Tech Pain account on Twitter, and I hit him up. He was he's saying the same things I was when I started. I was like, man, there are no Georgia Tech like fans making videos. You got Kelly Quinlan with like Jackets Online and stuff, and everything. But I came on here, I had nobody, some average Joe that like yells into his phone like I do. That screams into the abyss. There's nobody doing that, so I figured I'd do it. But any person that wants to do that, I always encourage and I always lift them up and want to bring them on here and shout them out and stuff. So y'all give him a follow at Burner Sims. I'll type it in the I'll type it in the daggum chat here, and maybe we say hey to some of these commenters. We got Neo in here. What's up? TD Jake, another Georgia Tech fan.
What's going on?
And Seminole Seth, congrats on your amazing win last night. That was a great game. B Bean, is this a serious game preview? Yeah, okay.
We're about to dive into it.
Everybody thinks we're about to get blown out. Well, we're just two Georgia Tech fans chopping it up. I mean, it's not often that we get together and talk like this, so we got to kind of get each other's a feel, right, for how we feel about the team. I feel like I've done most of the talking, but I'll let you. We got CCD. What's up in here? He's a Maryland fan. He says he thinks Clemson wins 31-10. Tisk tisk. Stats Sheet Sports. Alex. Country Tiger. What's up? Let the Big Dog Eat. What's going on? Nature Boy. Oh, Carolina Jackpot in here. He is a South Carolina Gamecocks fan. Says shock the world. Go Tech.
Hey, there we go. I know the Gamecocks gonna be pulling for us.
Oh yeah, and I'll be cheering for them too when they play the damn Bulldogs.
Oh yeah.
So Lucas Sharp, what's up? So I said hey to everybody in the comments section now. So yes, everyone is freaking not giving us a chance in this game tonight. What do you think?
Oh God, you know what? I've been going back and forth on this game. It's really interesting to me because this team has a lot of new faces, and I think a lot of Tech fans, along with myself, don't really know what to expect and what we're going to see out there. I think we know kind of what we're going to see with Jeff Sims. I think he's shown improvement over camp and in the spring. But the O-line is going to pretty much be brand new. Running back room, we know what Dante can do, but we're going to see McDuffie, we're going to see Hassan Hall. My biggest concern offensively wise, aside from the O-line, of course, is that receiver, because I just don't, outside of Malachi Carter, we really don't have a go-to guy. And then you go into the question, can Malachi Carter be that wide receiver one that you can depend on all the time? We don't know the answer to that.
I think he can. I think Malachi Carter is really good.
I think he is too. But he hasn't had a role in Georgia Tech yet where he's the guy. You know what I mean? So, but I think I've been hearing good things about Nate McCollum, Malik Rutherford.
I've been hearing good stuff about Ryan King out of
Ryan King.
And there is a huge amount of hype on E.J. Jenkins, which kind of makes me wonder. I actually was talking to Carolina Jackpot about it the other night. I was asking him, because he did come from South Carolina. He says he's just absolutely huge and slow, but he said he's slow. So it sounds to me like he would make a better tight end.
Yeah. Well, the thing that concerns me about him, and, I played D3, so I'm kind of bashing on my own division here, but EJ was recruited to, I think, play D2 or maybe FCS. And then he transferred to South Carolina. So I guess he balled out in the lower leagues, but he didn't play at South Carolina.
No, he didn't.
And
they also
I just don't know how to feel about that.
Last year, you got to keep in mind, South Carolina had no quarterback play to speak of.
Yeah.
They had no quarterback. They didn't have Spencer Rattler. Or anything like that. They had at one point they had the
grad assistant.
Yeah, the grad assistant. Yeah. So that I kind of give a little bit of credit for to try to keep in mind. But I mean, the Tech fans are just absolutely hyped about him, and I'm just not so sure. I'd have to see it first, but it seems like he'd be a better tight end. I don't know.
I agree. I think that where we're going to see him get his targets is going to be in the red zone for sure. I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to be wide open in the middle of the field. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that does work. That does work better for us, especially with Chip Long being a tight ends coach too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems. But hey, they run the roster, not me.
Yeah.
I'll just freaking watch what they put out there. Of course, we did have P.J. Harris move to tight end, so that is interesting.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll have to see. And what's up with Leo Blackburn, man? I was so stoked for him, but apparently he's still hurt.
So what I've read is that he's pretty much healed up from his ACL, but now he's dealing with a back injury, and they don't want to rush him
Yeah.
into back into play and get him
Yeah.
hurt again,
Yeah.
because they think obviously he's going to be a big piece of our future. I've been
Yeah.
reading that he's going to be back for Ole Miss,
Oh,
so
really?
we're not going to see him tonight, and they'll probably hold him out of Western Carolina. I'm assuming under the assumption that we're going to be able to win that game without him, hopefully, and then
Yeah.
we'll probably have him back for Ole Miss. So looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I really hope so, because there was a lot of hype around him too. They were like, "Oh my God, he's got Calvin Johnson's number," and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, and there's
They've been
like,
comparing him to Calvin.
they
for
were like, "Okay, now that's like a lot. Like,
yeah.
that's the best player to ever come through Tech.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best wide receiver to ever play the game." So
Yep. So how are we feeling about how the defense you think is going to hold up tonight?
So, I don't know, man. The defensive line, we lost, Dominic and Jared Ivey, which is so disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like we had a lot of sacks last year either.
No.
I feel like we got decent pressure during the season when I was watching the games last year, but our sack numbers were so low. I don't know. Zeke was a true Biggers was a true freshman last year, and he did a great job. So I'm pretty sure he's starting this year.
Yep.
We got Keon White back. I'll talk about a lot of hype around him. He's got Old Dominion.
Yeah.
He come from Old Dominion last year, but he broke his freaking leg in fall camp last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully we see him, and hopefully he lives up to the hype. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these players are getting hype. The only two I'm hyped on, I would say, are Sims and Malachi Carter. And we glazed over the running backs, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The defense, I don't know what. Hey, did you happen to hear? Do you follow and watch Bryce Kuhn?
Yeah.
Do you did you see his video on the DBs in about Tillman's comments on those?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could talk about that situation. I mean, what can I say? We have one of the worst passing defenses in the country last year, and Jeff Collins fires the coach like he should, but then goes out and gets the only one of the three teams with the secondary worse than ours. He goes and hires him. So,
yeah, and I think he made that hire just because Tavares played at Georgia Tech.
Right,
And I think that was he jumped the gun on that.
Yep.
But with that being said, I think that at least if the DB play is not that much better, I think at least they'll be in position, because last year you had guys that just had no clue what was going on.
Right.
I mean, we were just getting the doors blown off of us over the top, and if that happens again, then we're screwed. But I think that they'll be in better position. Now the question is, it's one thing to be in position, it's another thing to make a play.
Yeah.
So, and I think as far as that Bryce video goes, Bryce Kuhn, I get what he's saying. I think he might have overanalyzed what Tavares said a little bit there. I think that there's nothing wrong with having boring corner play, because you see guys like Sauce Gardner that didn't allow more than 35 yards in a game. That's boring, but it's effective. So that's kind of what we want out of our DBs, because it's not boring when they're getting blown over the top. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the DBs and the safeties, corners and safeties tonight, just because a lot of new faces there. We got Zamari coming back, but both safeties will be new starters because we lost Twanye and Tariq. So
gonna miss them for sure.
Yeah.
We lost
Big time.
Trey. We lost Quez. So that's some tough losses. But we'll have to see. So real quick, jump back over the comments and see what's up. Lucas Sharp, Alex, Ballard Sports Media. What's up, buddy? Sippy Sports Show. Just scrolling through these comments real quick. I appreciate everybody showing up. Mrs. Pete. who is the wife of the Clemson fan, what I will be streaming the game with tonight. Says go Tigers, so I don't know about that. Bet X-Wing Sports, he says go Jackets, so thanks, bud.
There you go.
So, yeah, me and Pete are going to have a great stream tonight. Everybody should tune in. Baylor Man, what's up? I appreciate everybody showing up, showing us some love. Show my man here some love. At Burner Sims, I put it in the title of the video. He runs the Georgia Tech Paint account on Twitter, and he tweets out memes and stuff like that. And he beefs with Clemson fans.
I beef with our own fans a lot too.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the Twitter Georgia Tech fans seem to be a lot more excited. Over here, we're all like, "Geez, man, another." Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got to be honest. I wasn't even the entire offseason. I wasn't even looking forward to the season. And it went by so fast. But now that it's kind of here, I'm getting into it. I'm excited. You know, it's 0-0. It's a new year. You never know. I mean, hey, with all these freaking upsets that have been going on week one, I mean, you never know.
Keep the trend going, hopefully.
You never know.
You know?
Hopefully we can at least give them a good game tonight. All the other games have been amazing. And last year,
I think.
What?
I was gonna say, I think if we can keep it a game, if it's a game going into the locker room at halftime, I think that anything can happen in the second half, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't want to see a blowout, man. That's what everybody's telling me is going to happen, but
Yeah.
I actually have a bet with Pigskin Pete. He said that Georgia Tech would not score an offensive touchdown in the first half. So I have a bet with him that if we do, then he has to then he basically has to tweet out an embarrassing message on Twitter about how wrong he was and how stupid of a tweet that was and stuff like that.
Oh, I love it.
If I lose, however, I have to make a video in which I convert to being a Clemson fan. So.
Well, let's hope we score an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, let's hope so too. I don't want to be a damn tater, man. They all make fun of me because I actually do. I have like a little gag, which is very controversial, but this is always how I've done it. Up here, I have Georgia's entire schedule, and I have of their hats, and I put the hat on of each team that they play every week, and I'm like, "Go Ducks" or whatever else.
Oh, that's funny.
I get a lot of hell for it, but that's my gag, and
that's
of course,
hilarious.
Of course, old Peter freaking pulls out the picture of me with the tater hat on last year, and he thinks it's so funny. Well, I didn't think it could be used against me like that, but here we are.
Here we are.
So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the roster too. We glazed over running backs. We missed running backs, but I'm pretty stoked. I think our running backs could be good this year. Of course, we're gonna freaking miss Jahmyr Gibbs. And you know I'm going to be cheering for him in Alabama. But that's tough. But every time Dante Smith touched the ball last year, he had some kind of crazy average. It was like over 10 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And it was nuts. So, and then of course we have Hassan Hall coming in from Louisville, and he's done really well. He's a really good punt returner. He's ran a few back for touchdowns, I'm pretty sure. And then McDuffie from Buffalo, and I don't know. You say what you want about Buffalo, but they produce some good running backs.
Absolutely.
So.
I think that losing Gibbs hurt, but I think the staff did the best that they could have done with replacement of that. Because obviously we lost Mason too, but we got Dante, who's kind of like a in between. He's a hard runner, but he's also kind of shifty.
Yeah.
We got McDuffie, who's just going to run people over. And then we got Hassan Hall, who's just electrifying, and he's also really shifty as well. So I think there's kind of a little bit of an emerging three-headed monster back there. I don't know if we'll get to see them at their full potential tonight, because I think the D-line we're playing is very, very intimidating. And we're going to have a hard time getting a push. But like you said, you get Dante in space, and he can do just about anything. So
yeah, I miss that about Gibbs too, because he could throw to him as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could get really creative with what you do. Of course, he takes off for a 50-yard, 8-yard touchdown yesterday against Utah State.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss him, but yeah, I think I think we're looking all right at running backs. I remember, man, it was crazy last year. We had when Collins got here. We had 17 running backs on the roster, and
Something crazy like that.
And then after the season ended last year, we got all the way down to one
Uh-huh.
running back.
Yep.
Thankfully, Tay stuck with us. Every time he touched the ball, he did great with it last year. So I think he's going to be great for us. I really do.
I agree.
We've always been good at running the ball. So I got faith in Tay. And we'll have to see about the 2 transfers. Of course, we lost Jemias Griffin, which I was looking for him the other night on where did he go? Oregon State.
Oregon
But
State.
it looks like he didn't even make the roster, so I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, he was talented out of high school. I was never really impressed with him at Georgia Tech, and he didn't really play a lot last year either.
Yeah.
So it didn't really hurt when best of luck to him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great kid, but I don't think losing him really hurt that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was keeping up a little bit this weekend with some of the old Tech players. You had Jordan Yates at Sam Houston, which of course they got freaking shut out by Texas A&M, but I mean that's a tough place. But Sam Houston State's one of the best FCS teams. I know they won the national championship a couple years ago.
Yeah, and he did okay. He threw a pick, I think, but I was watching him play a little bit. He was running for his life back there, but he did all right.
Yeah, and Jordan Yates was a good backup for us last year. It drove me insane though watching them try to force him to pass because
my God,
he could not throw a pass over 15 yards.
He's got one of the weakest arms I think I've ever seen.
I was literally watching the game. I was like, watch this. It was first down, and it was like one of our last few games. It was a Boston College game, I'm pretty sure. We get sacked on first down, so it's like, 2nd and 20. I'm like, watch them throw 3 times and fail 3 times. Or no, we got we got penalized, so we had, first down, second down, third down. I was like, watch him. They're gonna force him to throw 3 times. He's gonna miss every time, and he did.
Yep.
And it drove me insane. So, with that said, I think our quarterback room is actually looking a lot better this year too.
I agree.
Although, I mean, we got more experience there with Zach Gibson, but as hype as it was to get Pumachan, I've heard that from what it sounds like he's third string and he's probably not going to play. And Kelly Quinlan even said, if Jeff Sims is not the starter, then no one is, which is
I like that. I like that they're riding with Sims this year. I don't think they've really done that yet, where they've been like, okay, this is our guy.
Yeah.
So that tells me that he's got a lot more confidence, and they have a lot more confidence in him.
Yeah.
I think Pumachan, I've been hearing that he's having trouble picking up the offense. I think he's a good athlete, but I definitely think Gibson is the number 2 guy for sure. And if Sims does go down or plays poorly and he gets benched, I won't be too upset because I've heard really good things about Gibson as well.
Yeah. Of course, you can't find any freaking highlights on him because highlights of Akron players don't exist.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I do think that is probably a lot better of a backup than Jordan Yates. No offense, Jordan Yates was a baller, especially when he decided to run and he wasn't afraid to take a hit. He came in like a hero at the end of that Northern Illinois game. Of course, they came out just short. We don't need to freaking talk about that, okay? But, good Lord.
Yeah.
I might have had a bit of a. I might have freaked out a little bit over that game.
Well, rightfully so. I mean, that's a game that you should not lose, especially at home.
I went into last year with huge expectations. Not even huge expectations. I just wanted to make a bowl. Like I wanted to go 6-6, and that was entirely possible. Now, this year I'm looking at it like I'm not so sure if a bowl is necessarily enough. Not enough as far as win totals or anything like that. but obviously I've kind of made up my mind on that. I want Jeff Collins to be fired at the end of the year. But I watched something like, so to put it into a little bit of perspective, the ACC Coastal has 4 brand new head coaches this year, and we have, of course, Western Carolina. So that's 5 games right there that are possible wins for Georgia Tech. And if you look at, for example, Virginia Tech from last year, Virginia Tech was 6-6, but they had no business being 6-6. It was the incompetence of the rest of the ACC that is what got them to that point. So, and then of course they get in their bowl game with Maryland and get blown out like 60-something to like 20. I mean, it was outrageous what happened to Virginia Tech like last year. So, if something like that happens to Georgia Tech, which looking around at the ACC is possible, then I'm probably still going to want Jeff Collins to be fired, and I'm probably going to be pretty pissed off because it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. I think I see what you're saying. I think that it's not just about win total this year. I think that if you're exactly right. If we get to six wins and then sneak into a bowl game, but if we get there in a sloppy way, I'm not really going to be too terribly happy. I think that what people are looking for this year, not only, on top of making a bowl and showing improvement, is just really just seeing a product on the field where we're actually going out and competing, and the players not looking lost, the DBs being in the right position. We need to look like a football team again.
You hit the nail on the head. That is what I'm looking for as far as my opinion on Jeff Collins towards the end of the year. Like, can we get rid of those stupid penalties? Can we stop looking so sloppy? I swear, I went to a high school game last year, and it didn't look too different from what I was seeing at Georgia Tech. It was just just amateur hour. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get too. I tend to freak out a little bit and get a little bit. I don't know. From somebody. I feel like I scare a lot of people off from Twitter because you see me freak out and I look like an unhinged lunatic. But I clean up pretty decently. Like I can sit down here and have a rational discussion. But that is what I'm looking for is kind of the sloppiness to go away, and if it does, then it's bittersweet because we sure could have used that last year, but. We'll just take what we can going forward, and, who knows?
Who knows? I agree. I think that, tonight's game is huge. I talked a little bit about this in the game preview that I released a couple of days ago, but I think that this game is really interesting to me because it's a tough matchup, but this is really the first time in Jeff Collins' tenure that literally the whole nation is going to have eyes on Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And people have formulated their own opinions over the last 3 years, most of which have been, wow, this team sucks. Like, this might be one of the worst teams in college football. People within the program, like the players, the coaches, and then people like me and you, we think that we can be dangerous if we put it all together. But people don't. I mean, people are writing us off. And I think that Collins has a really intriguing opportunity tonight because even if we don't win, if we go out there and give Clemson a run for their money, I mean, people are putting Clemson back in the playoff this year.
Yeah.
So if we go out and obviously if we go out and win, that'd be fantastic. But if we go out and lose like 24-20 or like 24-17 and put them on the ropes and make it a game in the fourth quarter, I think that would be an interesting turning point for the program where people are watching this game like, okay, maybe Georgia Tech's not the incompetent team that I thought. Maybe they're turning a corner. Versus, the flip side of that, where if we go out and just look like Oregon did versus Georgia, people are going to write us off for good.
Yeah.
So I think that this game is really important as far as the perception of the program and the respect that we're going to be able to get overall. So I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. This is a big opportunity, and hey, guess what? We freaking play really good too in the bins, don't we?
That's right.
We got some of that. Right. We got some of that Ben's voodoo last year, and we were able to take down North Carolina, which is looking like a more and more winnable game. lately,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Uh-huh. Well, it's interesting looking at the Coastal because I think VT is definitely a beatable team. Duke obviously is a beatable team, although they look pretty good against Temple. Um, North Carolina is a beatable team. Pittsburgh, I don't really know. Maybe. Miami, maybe. They haven't played anyone yet. That's worth noting.
hmm
So,
Yeah. So
I don't
yeah,
know, man.
yeah. The ACC this year, not exactly looking like in the same conference. And forgive me for being on my phone. I just tweeted out our thing on Twitter. So hopefully, maybe some of our Twitter folks will come check us out. Looking in the comments here, we got Brant Bernberg, and this is the freaking guy that's the Georgia State fan, and he's always on.
Yeah.
He's on Twitter and YouTube, terrorizing any Georgia Tech fan he can find. And
Yeah.
hey, sir, I'm gonna have to let you know that we're coming for that in what is it, 2024?
Yeah. If we don't win that game by 30, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, we'll be putting that argument to rest. Okay, we done it with KSU already, and Georgia State's next. I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, running through the comments, we got Mayhem Matthew. What up? GT Bowhunter 90. Hey, who gets the first carry tonight? He asks.
Dante.
Dante. Yeah, Dante for sure, and he'll run for freaking 15 yards too.
Oh yeah.
Wahoo Brad, what's up, buddy? Ya boy says go Tigers. I don't know about that. Sorgy Stories. Man, our group chat is popping here. We got about 26 people in here, and oh my God, Patience Veach. We have the #1 Georgia Tech fan in here. Well, hello to you,
How we doing?
Patience. Good to have you. Patience is also a really good Twitter account to follow if you're a Georgia Tech fan. She is the world's #1 Georgia Tech fan. It's not me. P Digits, what's up? Thanks for everybody for freaking showing up. We're chopping it up here with at Burner Sims. He runs the Georgia Tech Paint account on Twitter, so go give him a follow if you want to see funny Georgia Tech stuff.
What up?
Yeah, so we talked about everything under the sun as far as Georgia Tech goes so far today. Getting hyped because it's freaking game day, baby. And the Yellow Jackets are getting ready to come out and kick some tail and shock the world, I think. So what are you thinking as far as your I know we had just kind of run over it, but what about a schedule prediction?
So, I think that going into the first 4 games, I think if we can get out of the first 4 games at 2-2, I think I'll be happy.
So what? We've got Clemson tonight. Okay, we can. Okay, well, if we're being real about it, I mean, if we're, okay, we give that a loss, right? Well,
yeah, we'll put an L there.
We'll put an L, a tentative one. That could change quick, any minute here. Then we head back home to Bobby Dodd for Western Carolina. We could chalk that up as a dub. We don't need a freaking repeat of the Citadel or Northern Illinois or something. If that's a no, then the freaking season's out the window. And what else is there? Ole Miss. Home. Ole Miss. That's going to be tough. I think their SEC West team's probably the best division in football.
I'm gonna tell you something though. They didn't look good against Troy at all.
Didn't they? I didn't watch that game. There was way too many other good games on right now.
They did not look good. I wanted to check them out because we play them here in a couple weeks. They won the game. I think it might have been like 21-10 though. They didn't.
Really?
They didn't show out they didn't show. I mean, and Troy's a good team. Troy's returning like some crazy number, like 75% of its production from last year.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss is a winnable game. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win that game. But it's not a game that people should just chalk down as an automatic L, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ole Miss cracked me up. I don't know if you saw. I made a video the other day. I was doing some research. I was on Sports Illustrated, and it was Ole Miss, and they were doing a schedule preview for Georgia Tech, and they were like, okay, we're going to look at the Georgia Tech defense. We're going to look at some defensive players on their roster that might give us some trouble, and they freaking listed Jared Ivey as a possible threat. I'm like, hello, Jared Ivey transferred to Ole Miss. They don't even know their own. They don't even know their own. They don't even know their own roster, man. Come on.
Oh my goodness. I don't think he played much on Saturday, actually.
So hotty toddy, but yeah, give me a break.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So Ole Miss, I don't know. I don't know that Lane Kiffin offense, and then at the same time, like they're going to be able to put up some passing yards, which worries me about our secondary.
I agree.
So that does worry me. And then we got UCF at UCF.
It's a tough place to play.
Yeah,
but I think that's a winnable game too if we go in there with the right mindset and get off to a fast start.
I sure hope so. We have not done well against UCF in these past few years. They beat us every time, and it's getting old. So I would love to beat them. Of course, they dodged us in 2017, didn't they? You remember that?
Yep. Yeah, the hurricane.
Yeah,
I remember
the fake
that.
national championship, and then they they
didn't want the smoke, man.
They dodged us. They didn't want to play the triple option. They wouldn't have won their fake natty then.
No.
Anyway, then we got Pitt, which is looking like they're still going to be pretty tough this year. Which I was kind of hoping they'd return to like being a shitty 7-5 team. But who knows? Who knows about that? Of course, it's at Pitt too.
I don't know if Pitt has the firepower that they did last year, though. They're not going to be like taking the doors off of defensive backs anymore.
They've definitely taken a step back. That's for sure. They've definitely taken a step back. I don't think that they're as good as last year at all. As far as better than us, though, I don't know. Their lines of scrimmage are always really good.
Yeah.
Although I remember their offensive line not being pretty bad in the backyard brawl, which, good Lord, what an amazing game that was.
Holy hell, you're right.
Yeah, so, yeah, who knows about that? And then, of course, you got freaking Duke, and now everybody's saying that Duke's going to beat Georgia Tech because they beat some doo-doo little team like 30-0 or something.
They beat Jeff Collins' old team, man. They beat Temple.
That's right. So, like, Temple is awful. What the hell? Why did Adonicus Sanders go to Temple?
I don't know.
He done traded down. And Adonicus Sanders, was it because of us, or was it because he wasn't getting enough playing time? Because I thought he got
He started, did he not?
Yeah. So what's going on here? I swear, some of these players just transfer just to transfer. Like, there was no reason for Adonicus Sanders to leave. I just don't understand. He actually won us that game. He caught the winning touchdown, did he not, last year against Duke?
The Duke game, which was also a fantastic pass from Sims.
Yeah, it was. I'm looking to see more of that from Sims this year.
Yep.
My hype on Jeff Sims is outrageous. And after that, Virginia. Look, Virginia, I was watching them a little bit the other day, and they seem honestly a lot like the same team as last year. Decent running game, amazing passing game, bad offensive line, and bad defense. They seem a lot the same. So that's going to be a question of our defense, of one, our secondary. Are we going to give up 500 yards passing? And two, our defensive line is, if we can get pressure on Armstrong, then that'll keep us in the game. I think with them.
D-line pressure is going to be huge this year. I think because we haven't, under Collins, we really haven't pressured the quarterback like as much as I'd want to see. And you can have the best DBs in the world, but you can't expect them to cover receivers for more than like 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I totally agree. I totally agree. Our defensive line is going to be pretty important, which sucks, to be honest. Hey, at least our linebackers looking decent. We got Ace back and freaking Charlie Thomas.
Charlie Thomas is going to have a good year, I think. I tweeted it out a couple days ago, but my bold prediction is that he forces a fumble tonight. I think it happens.
Hey, well, of course, he came in clutch last year. Didn't he force the safety or something?
I think he's the one that
the
forced the
fumble
fumble
that caused the
in the end
safety.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it was Juanye that forced the fumble on DJ. I think that was who that was.
remember when Wanye caught the pick 2 against Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Miami, we'll get to them in a minute. So we got what's next? Florida State in Tallahassee. Now Florida State's looking pretty formidable this year, and it's in Tallahassee, so I don't know.
I would probably put that game down as a loss.
Yeah.
I think that Norvell's got those boys rolling.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going to be pretty good. Now Virginia Tech, this has to be a win, or else I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose my mind if we lose.
That's got to be a win. That's got to be a win.
It's in Blacksburg, but we've always played pretty good in Blacksburg.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it matters where it is. That team is in shambles right now. I mean, not like we aren't, but
yeah. We better get it together and beat Virginia Tech. We should have beaten them last year. They weren't good last year either. Very frustrating to come in and get beat at home by freaking Braxton Burmeister. I don't even know who they got now, but we better win that.
Yeah.
Then we have Miami, which I think Miami's overrated, to be honest.
I'm going to be interested to see how they look when they play a good Power 5 team.
Yeah.
Obviously, they blew the doors off of Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah,
I don't
of course,
really know anything about that team.
I mean, we're going to go freaking 15-0 because we beat Bethune-Cookman. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Tyler Van Dyke, I will say, is one of the elite quarterbacks in the ACC, if not the country. And they did lose their best receiver. I'm forgetting his name, but he was pretty good. He's gone. So one of my good friends actually is a big Miami fan, so he was telling me about it. But they're returning that good running back they have, and I don't know. There's a lot of questions with Miami. So we'll have to wait and see how they look when they get into ACC play. I think they play A&M actually in week 3.
Oh, they'll get blown out.
That'll be interesting to see if they can hold their own in that game.
I'm calling it right now. They're getting blown out. Whatever the line is on that game, I'm taking Texas A&M big.
I hope you're right because I hate Miami.
I hate Miami, dude. I want to beat them so bad.
Yeah.
And the series is tied with them right now. So, if I think Miami's number 2 on the list of teams that I went through and ranked what teams I want to beat, like how bad I want to beat them this year, and Miami was number 2 behind Georgia, obviously. So, God, I hate Miami.
Yeah, me too.
Especially how hyped they are right now. I would just love to see them get just smacked down.
Well, it feels like they're this way every year. They go into every single year thinking they're going to win the Natty, and then they go 7-5.
No, I do believe that they made a good hire. But, but this year it's going to be too early, okay? It's going to be too early. It's his first year there. I mean, look at Brian Kelly. He couldn't even go to LSU and turn around in 1 year. Well, supposedly. I mean, I know it's week 1, but it's year 1. So, okay, let's calm down on Miami. They're way too hyped. I'd love to see them just get smacked down. And I bet if they lose to Texas A&M, there's going to be people calling for him to get fired.
Probably. That's how that fan base is.
And it'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
So then we have North Carolina, which is looking more winnable.
That defense is not good.
It's atrocious.
At all. Atrocious. So that should be a high scoring game. Hopefully we can pull it out. I think that's is that at North Carolina?
Yeah, because last year was in the Benz, which was one of our home games, right? So
yeah.
Then we got an easy mop-up win at the end of the year against the Pound Pups. That'll be no problem.
I can't lie to you. I think we might lose that game by 50.
Oh, you think so? Well, damn.
They look good on Saturday.
I
hate them though.
Terrible.
Well, I agree. Oregon's overrated, but
God, I hate Georgia worse than anybody. I'd rather win. I'd rather Miami go, 15-0 and win the national championship than Georgia win a single game.
Oh my God. I've always said it every year. I say this every year, but I would be completely okay with going 1-11.
Yes,
beating
I would.
UGA.
I would.
I don't. Amazing. I do not care, man.
That would be amazing. I don't either. Jumping over the comments section real quick, we got Jeremy Beatty. What's up? Sorry if you already covered, but are you streaming tonight? Yes, I'll be streaming. Not on my channel, but the Pigskin Pete channel. So, go over to the Pigskin Pete channel. I'll make a community post, so you'll be able to see it if you're subscribed, and with a link to that stream. So, it'll be the only stream, the only game I stream on somebody else's channel. All the other game streams this season will be on my channel. So, Fishin' GA1, what's up? SEC Dog, Motivated Dedicated. Of course, there's oh god, we're getting overrun by Georgia fans in the comment section. I'll have to Fishing Football. Sorry about that. I told you to take the over on that game last night, buddy. And Benji Hollow, what's up? Good to see you guys. Give my man here a follow. He runs the Georgia Tech Pain account at on Twitter at Burner Sims. And we've had a freaking good time here today. We've been streaming for what, about 45 an hour or so.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want us to freaking
nothing
say?
Much. Just wrapping up. I'm gonna be. I'm going to the game. I'm in Atlanta right now at a hotel downtown. I'm gonna be at the Home Depot tailgate at 5. If anyone's going to that, look for me. We'll chop it up. Talk some Tech football. I think anything can happen tonight. We're big underdogs. I hope Collins uses that as motivation for the team. So. But like I said a couple of times in this stream, I think I think the key right now that the team needs to be focusing on is making sure that we're in the game at halftime, and then you come out in the second half. Anything can happen in a football game after that. So, containing DJ, I don't think that'll be that hard. I think that gets horrible. But containing Will Shipley as well is going to be a key. So, looking forward to it. Excited to watch. It's going to be a lot of new faces, brand new offense. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. By the way, I meant to ask you, what's your story? How'd you become a Tech fan?
Yeah. So my dad went to Tech, and Tech was always my dream school. We've been season ticket holders for about 30 years now. So way before my time. So I've been going to games ever since I was born in 2000. So,
okay, me too. My grandfather went there, and he raised us, my dad and me, as Tech fans. So I grew up going to the games and tailgating and seeing the parade and everything else back in the freaking Calvin Johnson days. So, yeah, it sounds like we're pretty similar in that regard. So,
yeah, man. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think we about covered it all. I realize we actually haven't talked to any about Clemson at all. You started mentioning their players, and I was like, oh yeah, we've been talking about Tech only. So I guess we can mention that real quick. They do have Will Shipley coming back. Is that Skowski Necro still coming back, or is he finally gone after 100 years?
I think that he might be back.
Is he back? No.
He's gone.
Okay.
Gone. I'm thinking of that D lineman, Brian Brzee. He's back.
Oh, Brzee's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they apparently have one of the best D lines in the country. So now our offensive line is going to get tested right away. A lot of people are talking about that offensive or that defensive line being the best defensive line unit in the country. So that is concerning, especially with our young O-line.
Well, one of their starters on D-line, Xavier Thomas, is out for this game, so that'll be big.
Oh.
They graduated both their starting linebackers last year. Both their starting DBs are gone. Not AJ Terrell. The other, Andrew Booth, he's gone. He played DB for them. He's gone. So they're replacing a lot. Clemson's a team that it's kind of like Georgia. I think they can reload easily. But they don't have a lot of experience necessarily on the defense. I think they're losing a lot of experience outside of the D line. So interested to see how Chip can try to expose that.
And if you're, and not to mention the coordinators that they lost too, that have been
Both
there.
their coordinators are gone.
That have been there for so long. So if you're preying on Clemson's downfall, I think that's kind of what you're looking at as far as that goes. Because it's been there for so long now. They promoted from within, so I guess that they have guys that maybe that's just plug and play for them. None of the Clemson fans that I've talked to seem to be worried about that. And I don't really think it's going to be a problem either. I honestly think Clemson can make the playoffs, but I do think a lot of it depends on DJ Uiagalelei, and I wonder, what do you think? You think DJU is going to come out and be improved from last year? Or you think they're going to go with Klubnik?
I think that he's going to start, and I think he's going to be improved. I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but I think that he'll look better than last year. I think he'll play the whole game, and I think he'll play a sloppy game. But I think that they'll keep him in the whole game. I do think he'll get benched eventually this year for Cade. It's just a matter of time.
Now, look, if you're looking for Georgia Tech to cover or even win. That's kind of what you're looking at is bad. Kind of similar to last year is how DJU come out looking terrible and pretty much gets replaced by Cade Klubnik. It could be a situation about that happening.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I think we covered it all, man.
Absolutely.
I think we
appreciate everyone hopping on, listening to us chop it up for about an hour.
Yeah, we had a good turnout, so we really appreciate everybody. And one more time, this is go follow my man Luke here. He runs the Georgia Tech Paint account at Burner Sims. It's in the title of the video, and he makes memes and stuff about Georgia Tech, and he's even dabbling in a bit of content creation with Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So. And I think you're pretty good. I think it comes naturally for you. So,
well, I appreciate that. We'll definitely chop it up a couple more times throughout the season for sure.
For sure, I had fun.
Fun. Absolutely.
So, you guys, I think that we're gonna freaking get out of here. And anything you got left to say?
Go Jackets! Hell of Georgia! We'll everyone tune in tonight and. Pull on my jackets for me.
That's right. Go Jackets. Go Jackets, and we'll freaking see you guys.